feeling? How you holding up?
Good. How are you?
Good. This is fun. Get my cardio in, right?
That's right.
If nothing else.
That's right.
Did all right for yourself, Malcolm?
Yeah, I think so.
Just all right? I'm just playing.
I'll keep him, I think. I mean, I live for this shit. This is easy.
How do you evaluate the strength of a campaign? How about polls? How about fundraising? How about the number of donors? All of the things that our campaign is ahead in.
The people that we represent, the women who care about Roe v. Wade, everyone who cares about the right to vote, anyone who earns less than $15 an hour, anyone who wants to join a union who can't. They need us to win this Senate race. They need us to win, not just make a great speech, not be good on social media, but go out there and get the votes that we need to win. You have a chance today to put fear into the heart of Dr. Oz, and David McCormick, and that whole cast of characters because they don't want to run against anybody. Thank you.
There have been some people, and let's have a candid conversation, who've said, well, Malcolm's nice. Oh, he's great. He took on those Republicans. But can a candidate like Malcolm win in Pennsylvania? First of all, the answer is yes. But second of all, it's not really about me. The question we're really asking is, can our values win in Pennsylvania? There's some people who think we have to make a false choice between winning and winning for our values, but those two things are inseparable. We will win because of our values. We aren't running from anything. We are Democrats. We are running for something, and we will win for our values. We will win for working people. We will win together. Let's make history for working Pennsylvanians. I ask you for your vote.
I really hate as like a elected person, a politician, just like being hyperbolic, because I think if you are always at 10, there's nowhere else to go.
Good morning. Good morning.
But if Donald Trump is not defeated, this could be our last election.
All the stuff the president's been saying, all the stuff he's been encouraging people to come to Philly, to stop whatever bad things he thinks are going to happen in Philly.
Bad things happen in Philadelphia, bad things.
We don't know what the fuck might happen, okay? Just be very, very cautious about that. And let's go win an election. Let's go win an election. Yeah. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it.
My thought has always been that when you know what it's like to be marginalized and treated unfairly simply because of who you are, I think you make a better legislator. Not just being queer, gay, but also being black, also being from, a poor community. And I'm always just trying to ask myself the question of, whose voice are we missing in this conversation?
Happy birthday!
We never forget. The political system has failed a lot of people. There are parts of my district where the median income is $9,700 a year. There's a certain resume that, we've become accustomed to for folks who run for office, right? They went to this school, went to that school. And from my perspective, enough with that shit. How about we let people who are closest to the pain be closest to the power?
I'm certain that I will be blessed with the victory. And they said if you pray for it and you don't work for it, you don't get it. Well, I done did all I could do. The only reason my knees ain't worn out because they're too old to get down there, I gotta stand up and pray. Lift my hands up high, but I want y'all to know, we got the victory!
Pumple, you the king! I ain't got no shame.
I've been working all day long, and I get through the night. They keep on telling me stay strong.
Oh my God!
ago, Malcolm Kenyatta became the first openly gay person of color elected to the State House.
I think that dealing with deep poverty is the moral and economic issue of our time.
We're risking families in my district, and you might not care, but I care about the people I serve. By the time this press conference is over, somebody will probably be shot. You can boo, but it's true.
Turn off this mic.
A Pennsylvania state representative is making a huge historic move. Malcolm Kenyatta officially launched his campaign for U.S. Senate.
If elected, he would be one of the youngest members, while also the first openly LGBTQ person of color in the U.S. Senate.
It's only been 11 black senators in the history of this country. That's crazy.
I want to also recognize one of the rising stars in our party, Malcolm Kenyatta.
Malcolm Kenyatta.
Malcolm Kenyatta.
If you don't think things have changed, having a brother in the state legislature with that haircut, that's a change.
Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is also angling for the working class vote.
A lot of people outside of Philadelphia are not necessarily okay with who he is. That is an issue in the general election.
It feels like more of an analytical argument. It's not about issues.
What is the undercurrent of that is there's never been a candidate like me.
Malcolm! 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 Malcolm!
How would you describe North Philly to someone who's never been here before?
Urban, progressing. We still got its issues. The same issues that is going on in North Philly is going on all through this country. We hold these truths to be self-evident, all being created equal and all this. We're still striving for that. We're still striving for that.
It's hostile, right? We have a lot of gun violence, a lot of gun violence.
The pandemic really accelerated things, and you're seeing this gun violence thing starting to take over.
The city of Philadelphia is on pace to see the most homicides ever in 1 year, mainly due to gun violence. More than 1,200 people there have been shot, and more than 320 of those victims died.
I've been out here since 1990. I've been fighting the same fight since 1990 when my son and his best friend was murdered. I shouldn't be coming here 30 years later saying the same thing. Enough is enough. I'm tired of these parents losing their children. My son did not die in vain. Their sons did not die in vain.
No. He loved you so much. He loved you so much.
He's so sweet. He's so sweet.
Shouldn't have even do this. I'm so sorry.
There are kids right over here playing, and they're growing up every day seeing a teddy bear, balloon, candle, vigil on their blocks. No 5, 6, 7-year-old should be hearing about a murder every single day. We know what we need to do. The question is, when are we going to get the damn political will to do it?
You know, for so many people, like your childhood, when you think about your childhood, you're thinking about one house that you grew up in, and you fucking mark the wall or something with you getting older. Like, I didn't have that. I just remember coming home and my mom's like packing stuff up. And she's like, take these trash bags and, you know, just fill them up with your clothes and stuff, and we gotta go. That look of people like, what's happening? Like, why are you moving? I'm just like, I don't know, like, we have to leave. It's really embarrassing. And it's really traumatic.
My dad was a social worker, and my mom was a home health aide. I lived 6 different places by the time I graduated high school. I buried both of my parents by the time I was 27, simply because they didn't have good health care. I often talk about it like karaoke. Like, people who can really sing, I think, are like often the last to want to sing at karaoke. They're like, I haven't practiced, like I need more time. But people who have no business singing, man, they're the first ones up there. Man. Sweet Caroline, whatever it is, they're ready to go. I think that that's our government. But what we also, I think, lack are a lot of people who understand some of the things that I understand about what happens in a real way when government's not working. I mean, I reject this idea that, you know, only straight white guys can run this country.
You know, when he says he's North Philly's biggest fan, he's true to that. Someone just came into our office and she was like, I got this flyer saying, you know, I had to move out in 30 days. And Malcolm literally walked up there and knocked on the doors to see who else had these flyers. And then he set up a meeting in the church between community legal services, and he was able to stop this management company from putting these people out. It's all very natural to him.
When I was with the former state representative, when he retired, I thought I was going to retire, but I can't afford to retire. So when this young man, he just lifted my spirits.
He's the one who told me to go to therapy. I never thought about therapy, you know, and I would tell anybody, my boss got me into therapy. I never looked at it as an issue, but he's seen that I don't take things lightly. Sometimes I don't, not, you know, whatever. But
well, you were dealing with so much gun violence. You were dealing with so much
PTSD and a lot of issues.
We are representative of this district. It is a district where there are a lot of immediate needs.
The more he get hired, the more he gonna do for us.
Pennsylvania, I think, is the most important battleground state in the country. It is vital to control of the House, control of the Senate, and control of the White House.
I mean, I think it's a state that really does have all the elements that make up America. You have big cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh that are very diverse and very liberal politically, culturally liberal. You have suburbs that are more moderate and can swing back and forth between the two parties. And then you have really rural areas that have always been kind of deeply conservative and remain deeply conservative. And then you have these formerly industrial cities and formerly industrial areas that have lost a lot of their industry and lost a lot of their economic engines, and that have shifted from at one point being kind of blue-collar labor union Democrats to more Republican supporting areas of the country and the state. No one element of the state dominates the politics.
We always had governors of different political parties. We always had the state legislature switch between political parties. I mean, Trump only won by like less than 45,000 votes. And then, you know, when Biden won, I mean, he again only won by 80,000 votes. You know, this is just a state that's constantly going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, up for grabs.
Pennsylvania's had 53 senators. They've all been white men.
Pennsylvania is the Democrats' best opportunity to pick up a Senate seat.
And I think that there's an honest debate going on within the Democratic Party about what kind of candidate is needed to win.
Representative Kenyatta, I would say his biggest strength is his message and how he delivers his message.
He's served in a Republican-led legislature in Harrisburg. So that makes it difficult for Democrats to get things done. And so a lot of what he does is fighting against things that Republicans are trying to do.
Democracies die slowly. And I think that this bill would be a fatal blow to our democracy. This, I guess we're calling it Committee on Election Integrity, has no integrity, has none. But what it would do is allow the folks on this committee that are actively up for re-election to subpoena ballots, to subpoena elections officials during an election of which they are participants. Nothing about that screams of integrity. You should be ashamed.
Okay,
and I
now
would
you're
ask,
down,
I would
you're down
ask
to
Mr.
personal
Chairman, I would make a motion. You can make whatever points you want. You're not going to shut me up. You are out of order. You've been out of order.
Hey, look,
you have been out of order.
Representative Kenyatta,
the member to
listen,
speak
I will
from
have,
Philadelphia.
if you don't get under control.
Then you're going to have security come drag me out.
Threaten him with security.
Well, then get your member under control.
You're going to have security come drag me out, Mr. Chairman?
Get your member under control.
No, Mr. Chairman, you're not. gonna say, get me under control. You need to get your caucus under control.
No one is getting Malcolm Kenyatta under control.
I got into politics because even with all of the problems that we see, I have a lot of faith in our ability to make progress. And I think if I ever completely lose faith in that, then I'm not in the right job.
Is it a smooth ride?
It's smoother.
I need to put this on shitty rigs.
Okay, healthcare, education, environment.
COVID crisis, just say that. We shouldn't live in a place where you're working 40 hours a week and still can't afford to keep the roof over your head or put food on your table. When you're
What
working,
about if you believe like I believe that nobody working full time should live in poverty or something?
yeah, that's perfect.
So if you believe like I believe that everybody should have access to high quality health care, then join this campaign. If you believe like I believe that we ought to be raising wages and creating millions of good paying jobs in future industries like clean energy, then join this campaign. And if you believe like I believe that nobody should work for oh, geez, Louise. I'm gonna work for you, Pennsylvania, and only you. My name is Malcolm Kenyatta, and I'm running for the United States Senate.
As you're showing off the engagement ring, I love it.
Subtle.
Subtle.
The dog cool too? Thank you. I was literally about to say that, can he stand behind me for once? just blend in.
Yeah? Did I get it right?
You can easily curate a perception of yourself over a weekend. But it was really consistent, and it was kind of scary in some ways, because I was just like, okay, like, either he's a really good actor, or like, you know, he's like actually the shit. And like, I was happy to see that that's who he is. I think it's a great position to be in, to be able to step through a door that you didn't know existed. Like, I never thought about this. Like, when I signed up to, you know, be his boyfriend and now his fiance, like, I was just like, I love this guy. And then as time has evolved and he's grown into his path and I've grown into mine, like, seeing like, wow, it's a familiar refrain. Do I feel added pressure? And I'm just kind of like, that's just being black and being gay. I want to get to the point to where we don't have to make demands on a system because we're actually co-designing that system. This is nice, but this is nice for like an everyday type of thing. I mean, I guess I like this one better now, if I had to choose. What is it doing?
It's just like sticking out, which is like so stupid.
You clearly don't ever want to see your hair. You just want it all back.
I do want to see it. I want it to be seen when it's called upon to be seen. Okay. So, this tie always feels like something good's happening.
Now by Democratic Pennsylvania State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta.
I understand you also have a little bit of an announcement that you want to make, so I want to let you do that first.
So, Joy, always a pleasure to be with you. America's really at a crossroads right now. You know, America succeeds because every generation steps up to protect and expand the promise of America, a promise that has excluded for too long so many working families whose lives were tough prior to COVID. I'm announcing here tonight that I'll be a candidate for the United States Senate to represent the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. You know, the American Federation of Teachers has already endorsed my campaign. The Working Families Party has already endorsed my campaign. And we're gonna build a campaign that lifts up and centers working people with every single thing that we do.
Is your husband ready for this? Is he giving you the A-OK, or or did you have to have a big argument about what time to hit the campaign trail?
No, he's giving me the A-OK. He's excited. Dr. Matt is ready to go, and I think Pennsylvania is ready to go. They can go right to malcolmkenyatta.com, Joy, to get involved.
She shouted me out.
She did. Can you bring the computer?
I really want to like get all of us on the same page with like sort of like the story of Malcolm and like why he's in this, why we're in this with him, and just like really be very centered and grounded in like what we're trying to accomplish here. So why you? I feel like I have a very, very good sense of. You came up in a working poor Black family in Philadelphia. You did all of the right things, and it was still very difficult for your family to make ends meet. Healthcare was inaccessible, housing was inaccessible, and that is not a story that exists for very many members of the Senate at all.
Like, my story's actually fucked up, right? Like, I mean, it's not cool. It's actually super sad.
Yeah.
Right? And in many ways, I am an exception. In many ways, I'm not an exception. And so I don't want to rarefy my story in a way where we're like, look at what America can do. This is so great. You can have a horrible upbringing and it all work out. No, my story is a cautionary tale of what happens when government does not work for people, and it's actually like super fucked up. Like, my story shouldn't have to be a story that we tell in America. When people close their eyes and say senator, a picture of me does not come up in their head. And that's the problem, right? Like, that's the problem. Okay, all right. Let them know I'm gay and I'm running. It's going really well. It's going really well. You know, right now it's just like, who's gonna jump in, who's not gonna jump in, and everybody, you know, a different person talking about running every day.
Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman launching a campaign for U.S. Senate.
I've always believed in a living, working wage. I've always believed that healthcare is a fundamental right. I've always believed in environmental justice.
So John Fetterman is the Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania. He was formerly a mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania, which is a small working class community out in western Pennsylvania. He is just this sort of larger than life, literally, figure who has really built a national brand for himself.
The worst days of my life, because these are days that we lost people through senseless violence.
Today, Braddock isn't perfect, but there are real signs of progress and hope.
You also have from Western Pennsylvania Congressman Conor Lamb.
A former prosecutor, a Marine, is seen much more as a moderate.
He won a district in 2018 that had voted heavily for Trump.
You know, he said he was personally pro-life. There was an ad of him shooting a gun.
He is now for a $15 minimum wage. He's for ending the filibuster. Comments in years past, he was a little unsure or against those things.
You know, it's easy to talk about, like, I want to raise the minimum wage. It's different when you've actually had to work a minimum wage job to survive. It's easy to like wave a gay pride flag. It's different when you're queer and have to deal with what it means for people to, you know, treat you differently simply because of who you are and like who you love and how you identify. I don't think, frankly, it's good enough to just put up somebody who's an ally when we can have the actual authentic article.
I did the census this year, and in Braddock, there are 10 out of 12 houses are uninhabitable. Fetterman, he got all the way to lieutenant governor from being the mayor of Braddock. But see, he did the work. He did the work. He got people together. He got people to vote for him.
How I put it is some people have blind faith in people, which I don't think should exist because everybody should be open to criticism. I tell people to check me and criticize me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
My name is Sharday Jones. I'm the mayor of Braddock. I am the youngest mayor in Braddock's history. I was born and raised here. I absolutely love the people here. I get $100 a month to be the mayor. So I do have a full-time job on top of being mayor. It's like having 2 full-time jobs, but 1 full-time pay.
What you doing way down here on Braddock, man? Because I'm trying to get every vote, man.
I did grow up when Fetterman was mayor. He put a spotlight on Braddock. He came to the community and he told the community, we need this, we need this, we need that. And some of those things we did need, some of those things were just wants. He was a contributor to the violence going down. I do appreciate that. But now that he's lieutenant governor, I'm like, so the spotlight is gone. And also, we still don't have resources.
I'm like walking up certain blocks and I'm like, this is fucking North Philly, man. This is like North Philly.
We have the steel mill and we have some of the worst air in the country. And they wanted to frack at the steel mill. At first, Fetterman was against it, and then he was like, maybe I shouldn't be against it because it would bring some union jobs. There's already the air quality, and you want to start going into other natural resources. Kind of feels like we're being taken advantage of.
Hey everybody, Representative Malcolm Kenyatta here with Mayor Sharday Jones of Braddock.
Why I decided to endorse Malcolm Kenyatta for United States Senate is because he asked, hey, what does Braddock need? And a lot of politicians don't come here and ask, what do you need? They tell you what you need.
I want things to be fair. That's all I ask. Now, if we can't do that, then I'm not the only one you're gonna have trouble.
John is gonna be so pissed. And he should be. I think it's pretty telling when the mayor of the town that you live in won't even endorse you. We need to have more than just white men running things. And it's like John probably agrees that to an extent too, and he's running for this seat. I mean, it feels really good to be a part of this. Malcolm could, in 4 years or 3 years, cast a vote that changes the direction of the country. To be a part of that would be really special. As Malcolm says, campaigns don't run on good ideas. You have to fundraise. This is what we've raised here on by credit card. Recent contributions. So 2 minutes ago, Lorraine from Collingdale, PA gave $10. As you're running for a higher office, you're running against other people that have money. This is one of the most expensive media markets in the country. So you have to raise a lot in Pennsylvania to win.
I've heard from a lot of people who they say they love him, they just say they don't think he can win. People tend to like giving their money to people who they think can win.
Pennsylvania is an expensive state to run in. You got the Philadelphia media market, Pittsburgh media market. It's not small enough that you can just kind of go door to door and make a dent.
Hey, good morning. Good. I don't know, where the fuck are we at? Good afternoon? Is it afternoon? Okay. Whatever. The cold calls, again, they've been really fucking annoying. Yeah, and it just the contact rate has been really low, which has been really frustrating.
Proud by Drew. Check me out. Look, the sum of all fears is that we could be powerful beyond measure, and that's hard to achieve. Cause when you add up all the things that we see, it's not too far-fetched to accept what's given, now I mean.
Representative Malcolm Kenyatta. I'm running for the U.S. Senate here in Pennsylvania, in what is going to be the most competitive and important Senate race in the entire country.
Unfair advantage from the jump. Y'all know the history. Once you start to win, they start pulling out the penalties. Damn.
And I would, love to have your support in this campaign, seriously.
I'd rather not. I'm very busy this month. I think you have the wrong number.
Got it, thanks.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
Yeah, that felt like it. So he will not be able to be helpful, which sucks.
When candidates come from wealthy districts, that comes with an advantage, which is that you've got, again, this kind of base of potential donors, right? Malcolm Kenyatta represents one of the poorest state house districts in the state. That absolutely is a disadvantage.
It's absolutely, by the way, overcoming all odds.
Thank you for your pledge of $100. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Every dollar fucking counts.
The numbers was a plus, but it ain't adding up.
Campaign finance is an absolute positive joke. Oz and McCormick, I mean, come on. Without their money, they have a shot.
People don't want to give us money because we don't have enough money. Do you legitimately fucking have on chicken and egg sauce?
Yeah.
Why would anyone think it was fair? Fair?
I mean...
Star among stars, and I never studied astrology. To beat the system in totality, you gotta do the math. I said you gotta do the math.
I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
Our average donation, $33, and that's the way we like it.
More than that. I'll send you
Well, I'll take it.
I said you gotta do the math.
Pick out a box, that's gonna be hard, but.
Okay. That's gorgeous.
It's a ton of gold. Feel the weight.
Yeah, he won't. He won't.
He's gonna know it's there.
Yeah,
We're not gonna lose this.
So Malcolm proposed back in July. There was just a lot going on, and I felt like he's kind of bogged down right now with a lot of stuff, and needs some I feel like a little more balance in his personal life right now. I'm calling it like a counter proposal. I think it'll be a nice surprise. It's our anniversary tomorrow, right?
Yeah, the one that we put on our wall. We don't know when it is.
Well, I love the fact that we chose it. Just us making our own traditions.
She learned it from Penny.
So I have a new tradition.
Oh, what's happening?
I'm not asking you to marry me because you already did that.
What's going on?
I'm counter-proposing to you because I want us to be each other's mirror. And I'm asking you not to marry me, but to mirror me. You surprised?
Yeah.
What? That.
After you.
Oh my God!
Thank you.
I got us date night gear.
Oh my gosh!
To marry each other in this life and the next. All right, you hungry?
No. I'm so taken aback. This process is really frustrating because so much of it is grounded in people's preconceived notions about who is electable and who can win, and all of those things aren't racially neutral. I have people who are like, oh, I love everything you're talking about, but you're not white, so you can't win. Everybody's obviously not that direct, but with the things that they say when they talk about electability and the types of people who voters will accept, that's ultimately what they're talking about. And that is really draining every single day, to also have to confront racism and not racism from Republicans, racism from people who are who are Democrats. If we're gonna say, even without saying it, that the only people we're ever gonna elect statewide are gonna be white men, and maybe we'll do a white woman someday, but we don't even really wanna do that. That's a racist ass paradigm. There is this non-serious coverage, really, that I think he really benefits from. I don't get to go on national TV and people ask me, Malcolm, is it Wawa versus Sheetz?
I'm sorry, they have the best hoagies in the state of Pennsylvania. I don't understand how there's even a conversation about Wawa versus Sheetz.
One of my first interviews after, they were like, Green New Deal, yes or no? Medicare for all, yes or no?
$15 minimum wage, yes or no? Abolish ICE, yes or no?
He has this unusual image for a politician.
He's this almost 7-foot bald guy who wears gym shorts and Dickies work shirts.
Malcolm doesn't have the luxury of going on debate stages wearing hoodies.
GQ magazine described you as an American style guy.
No, American taste
guy.
God.
Taste
yes,
guy,
American,
sorry.
Who cares? I mean, Who cares? That tells us negative zero things about the type of senator he would be.
Being not the normal candidate kind of frees you up to like try new things, experiment. Like no one can tell you what will be the right or wrong thing.
Thank you all for joining us tonight for one of Malcolm's first in-person fundraisers. Very happy to see you all. If you have yet to donate or would like to contribute even more generously to support our campaign, you can visit newdaypa.us/Philly or just see me and I can take care of that for you. Twist my arm.
It's not good enough for us to decide between who is the least worst straight white male millionaire. We can actually, for the first time, elect an African American statewide in Pennsylvania. We can do that. We can actually, for the first time in American history, elect an openly LGBTQ person of color to the United States Senate. We can do that.
Let's make a little noise. You're part of a drag show now. All right, here we go. Here she is.
There are a couple of things and a couple of ways to look at the whole question of reparations. One is clearly in terms of the politics and the economics of the thing, where we can look at the whole development of corporate capitalism in America. The capital that was accumulated for that process, for that development, largely came through slavery. That America would not be the wealthy country it is today if it were not for the resources of Black people.
Malcolm's grandfather was like a kind of civil rights figure, icon in Philadelphia. He actually ran for mayor of Philadelphia in the 1970s. So in many ways, this is in Malcolm's blood.
He had a kind of innate intelligence. He took the SATs and scored a perfect 1600.
He would have me with him all the time. If he was around, nobody else could have me or hold me. He was hanging out with me. And, he would come over with his friends. And they're having these, really intense conversation about politics and about the world.
We were chased out of Mississippi by the FBI. He was one of the people who was considered a threat to America, just like Martin Luther King was. I thought that the work that we had done would have put us as a group further along, that racism would not have come back with such strength. My grandson, he has the temperament, the internal strength, and the morality that will serve him well. Yes, he is carrying on the struggle. Words spread, but the results, in some ways, much bigger with Malcolm because he can get things done.
I've seen you before. Not sure where. Maybe it's a dream or vision, but I'm sure I've seen you before. Look through history's pages, matched your faces to those faces, recounted journeys, marched through shoes just like yours, and the souls are still intact. Skipping down a road of golden hues, minds as big as globes, hearts as pure as snow, your destiny painted on a mural in the back of some abandoned building, feet painted on. You've been doubted before. I bet they told you wouldn't make it this far, but your mere presence is a rebellion to the lies they've been spewing. I've seen you before. Maybe in the highlights of my hopes, I've seen you before. And I know that you're called to greatness, so don't just be here. Zigging and zagging from point to point with no point. Don't just be here. Your life deserves living, your goals deserve reach, and take the reins. It may rain, but the rain will be long if you trust yourself. Look beyond the hurdles, don't jump them, just run. Don't stop because you're tired, just run. Don't quit because it's hard, just run. Don't just be here. Stand up, be noticed, this is your destiny. Take hold of it, I've seen you before. And I know that you're called to greatness, I've seen you before. Write your name, trust yourself. You are not a product of the past nor a slave to the future, reinvent yourself. Live, laugh, cry, scream, but don't just be here. Because I've already seen you succeed. Thank you.
I think Fetterman's biggest weakness is what is his pitch to black voters and his handling of this 2013 incident where he pulled a shotgun on a black guy who was jogging down the street who he suspected of a nearby shooting.
The shotgun incident, yes, as it's known by shorthand.
It happened just down the road by Braddock Mayor Fetterman's home when he heard what he thought was assault rifle gunfire. He chased a man that he thought was responsible, then pulled a shotgun to confront him until police arrived. Chris Mayeras, the man Fetterman confronted, turns out to be an innocent jogger who police say had no weapon.
There wasn't any assault rifle shots, it was bottle rockets behind the library.
He says Fetterman
followed me into North Braddock and pulled a shotgun and aimed it at my chest.
Did you point the shotgun at him?
No, I did not. I pointed it, in a way so that he would see that I was armed, but I did not point it at him. In fact, I didn't even have a round chambered or remove the safety at that point.
I mean, there's a mayor with a shotgun and 6 other cops surrounded me. What else can I do but this?
I believe I did the right thing, but I may have broken the law during the course of it, and I'm certainly not above the law if I did. But what I did in a split second out of concern as the father and the mayor.
He's trying to make it like it's okay. He's trying to justify what he did. I mean, you're the mayor of Braddock in North Braddock with a shotgun.
As of now, it does not appear to be hurting him politically.
Everybody for Halle Berry and everybody else at Denzel, everybody that gave me money. Never in my 62 years would I dream that there would be a black man. I get emotional when you think about it. That has the possibility to run. You are honest, you are smart, you care, you really, really, really do care. You come from the same streets that I come from. You are a statistic. You should have been dead. I'm so honored to be in your presence, sir.
Okay, how do you know Lee? I'm curious. So how did Lee and I meet? So Lee and I met we have a good mutual friend, Bruce Cohen. Okay. And Bruce was like, I'm gonna introduce you to Lee. And I was like, okay. And we did, and it was fantastic.
People are tired. We're tired of being told the same thing and really not having anybody. It's a shame that we really don't have any representation.
He is
very instrumental in me coming to this decision to live in my truth.
Wow.
I was so undercover in DL when I first met him.
I just get shivers thinking about that.
And
It's so amazing.
And I'm listening to Malcolm, like, try not to cry. Like, I want to be you. I want to be out. I want to be proud. I want to be free. I want to work in politics.
Wow.
And the more and more I talked to him and just watched him journey through, you know, loss and success and just being him, I was like, he is me. I can do that. Let me get out this closet and be free.
People don't want him to emphasize it as the reason he should win, like him being black and gay. Like, it could be totally the reason why someone votes for him. Why do we assume it's the opposite? Unfortunately, a lot of us are trained out of being courageous and are trained to see bravery as like a weakness.
Yeah, I think. Oh, with us being good. That's okay. That's okay.
And we get a call from someone, he never left his name. He said, we don't want those type of men in office and stuff. He used an expletive word that I'm not sure I'm able to say right now. The F word, faggot. Yeah, he said he don't want no faggots in the office and everything, but I was shocked, sitting here shocked, and Kara was like, hang up, hang up.
This weekend we had to deal with, you know, a death threat, and the police are investigating that now. Like, I didn't anticipate that type of stuff.
Because you don't have that precedent, the metrics for how to predict it, like, they don't exist. And so you have folks who need that and want that, and they don't have it, and so they don't know how to write about it. So much labor, emotional labor going into putting people at ease rather than actually allowing us to enjoy that this is like, could be an exciting change, like, and the change we've been needing.
SEIU, I think, gives more money to Democratic campaigns than any other union in the country. Ups and downs, because that is how campaigns go. But, you know, getting SEIU's endorsement is huge for us, huge for us.
In this state, people talk a lot about working class people. Most working class people in America didn't get laid off from a steel mill in 1992. Most have been working for poverty wages in the service sector since the 80s. We endorse Malcolm because we believe Malcolm is the candidate who has the best platform, the longest history, the strongest message. We believe we will win this primary, and we will fight with you until we do. Thank you so much, Brother Fuller.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. There are a lot of people who have counted this campaign out. But I just want to say to everybody who is watching, if you have ever felt count out, if you have ever felt ignored, if you have ever felt like politics doesn't serve you, this is your campaign. Yeah. This is not a race just between two white guys from Pittsburgh. Right. When we vote, we win. When we vote, we win. When we vote, we win.
Why should you be Pennsylvania's next senator?
I have the experience of doing the job, by serving in the House. I have worked on all the important bills and voted for all the important bills that we need our next senator to vote for. But the other thing that I bring is I can win tough elections. I've done it 3 times in my races for the House. I've picked up a lot of votes in tough territory, and Pennsylvania is a big state where you need to be able to do that.
Conor Lamb is kind of out of central casting for who Democrats handpicked to be Senate nominees in the past, right?
He is kind of like the young Biden, and Biden just won Pennsylvania.
He's gotten lots of endorsements across the state. The Philadelphia Democratic Party did not endorse its own state representative, Malcolm Kenyatta, for Senate, endorsed Conor Lamb, which obviously turned heads because Malcolm is from North Philly. He's very active in the party, and this is his hometown county party, city party.
As progressive of a city as Philadelphia is, the party is still kind of old school. It's a noticeable kind of snub at the Philly party isn't getting behind the guy who's going to have Philadelphia next to his name on the ballot.
You guys had lunch, you get cheesesteaks? You're from Philly?
We live here, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, then I can tell you then. You're from
Yeah.
Philly, you know where the cheesesteaks are.
What's
Pat's
your
and
favorite
Gina's.
cheesesteak spot?
They're all good. I never met a cheesesteak or a pizza I don't like. Can't you tell? Politics in Philadelphia is for adults, and you need to be an adult to apply. And we have our primaries, and I equate our primaries as a family squabble. There was hardly any support for Fetterman. There was some support for Malcolm, all right? But everybody believed and thought that Conor Land would be the best person to win against the Republican. He ran 3 times against in a Republican area, and he won 3 times.
Do you think a black gay candidate could win Pennsylvania?
Sure, sure I do. Absolutely I do. I think we're past that. Again, I told you, white mayor, black mayor, white mayor, black mayor, white mayor. We are colorblind, without question. I certainly don't want him to go away. The horizons are wide open for him. He's doing a great job under duress right now. You know, having to have an uphill battle with this money issue, you know, and it's tough.
Do you think the monetary struggle, do you think that has anything to do with him, being black at all?
No. No, I don't think so. I hate to think that because he's an African American, that would be African American. That's the reason why people aren't investing in him. Great story, great candidate, great man. Hopefully, wish him luck.
This basic idea that you can have one good job, that job can be backed up by a union, that your kid can go to a good school, that if you get sick, you can go to the doctor and actually fill the prescription when you leave, and that you can retire with a level of dignity. We aren't running from anything. We are Democrats. We are running for something, and we will win for our values. We will win for working people. We will win together. Let's make history for working Pennsylvanians. I ask you for your vote.
You did it. Hey, all the calls, the letters. You want to take a walk around the corner?
No.
You want water? Yeah.
We just never even had somebody like me even try. And it means a lot. It means a lot.
Bomb.com. I had tears in my eyes the whole time.
Thank you.
I want you so bad in that seat. So bad.
Thank you. Thank you.
We just work against so many damn things as black people in this damn country.
We do, every day.
So that's, I'm shaky, but you got my vote, man. You got my vote.
Thank you.
Okay? Not just because I'm PFT, because you're the right person for the job.
Thank you.
All right? I'm sorry.
No,
right?
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
It means
for
a lot
putting
to me.
yourself out there. Because you got to put yourself out there to do this. This isn't just, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you
thank
for
you.
doing this. Thanks for taking the hits for the rest of us.
Well, I appreciate you. You know what, for me, I think the authenticity piece of it is probably grounded in me coming out. And I think that once you are not authentic to yourself, it is a snowball that you'll never stop. Just because you're the first to do something, I think a part of why I try to flip that on its head is because undergirding that is this idea that you don't belong there because nobody like you has been there before. When in fact, when you do something that nobody who shares your distinctions has done before, you belong there more than the people who very easily are always welcomed. I'm bringing something valuable into this space that wasn't there before, and motherfuckers are lucky I brought it.
I really look up to my people, like black, queer men. I mean, I look up to my people. And you've done so much. I don't think you understand, personally for me, because there's not many of us that are up there. in any successful position. Like, I'm not saying there's not any, but there's not many.
You know, bravery is so contagious. You know, and there are people who might not be gay, might not want to dance or whatever. But I really do hope that you get the sense and understand like how powerful you just being who the fuck you are is to people. There will be all these people who I know you will inspire, some of whom you'll meet, some of whom you'll never meet, and it becomes this real ripple effect of one person popping up, standing up, and then another person popping up, standing up. And so I'm really proud of you. In a world this vast, somehow we found each other. Matt, you are my greatest gift. I promise to never forget the magic of that first kiss. And how instantly it told me that this was right and that this was real. I promise to love you, to truly listen, to be focused on the journey. You mean more to me than I'll ever be able to say. And so I just promise to show you. Every single day. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. From Instagram to forever, baby.
To Malcolm, my other 100%, my co-pilot, my fellow alchemist and Black Boy Joy. I vow to remind you, North Philly's finest, of your true north, your inner cosmos, especially when struggle arrives like a spaceship. I vow to steward your last name as our peculiar inheritance. Kenyatta, an emancipated wonder yet to be fully defined. Kenyatta, our chosen name uttered in front of chosen family in our chosen city. I vow to be a place where your fragility can flourish, where your spirit can rest. I vow to be the reason you're a happy warrior and why your heroism requires no war. I vow to keep vowing until these values and promises become instinctual incantations, until our ashes become extinct. And all that remains in this is the magic we defined in this world, in this life, together. Until then.
So the jumping of the broom is a tradition that emerged in a time and in a place where Black love was just as real, but not as acknowledged in the state of Pennsylvania and in the United States. There was a more recent time when your love was not acknowledged. It was just as real. We invite you to jump the broom. 1, 2, 3, jump! Yeah! For the very first time, I would like to present to you the Kenyattas. And Matthew.
Congratulations. I'm voting for you. Oh, thank you. Hey.
Mr. and Dr. Kenyatta.
Well, the Honorable and Dr. If we're gonna do titles, we're gonna do it.
But is there going to be an empty
Yes.
podium?
Yes, there is going to be an empty podium.
There is. They said they're not moving it.
Good.
We had always thought that he would probably want to duck out of these things. I think he's trying to run out the clock. He's the front runner. You know, he's got all the money in the world. And my sense is that he's trying to limit the opportunities for Malcolm or Conor Lamb, for that matter, to close the gap.
Electability. I do think it is actually relevant to primary voters in a way that I think it wasn't in the past. There are other reasons why someone would be unelectable, like they pull a shotgun on an unarmed black jogger, for example.
Right.
Might be a reason why somebody's not electable.
Right,
And
right, right.
So as opposed to like he's never beaten a Republican before.
Yeah. There he is.
Hello. Sorry for the delay. I'll be on time on Sunday. How are you?
He is exceptionally talented, and I think he is probably one of the Democratic Party's best communicators today.
The Lamb campaign is focused on going after Fetterman on the jogger incident. You know, not only was it a terrible thing he did, but then it also raises questions, how is he going to excite and generate enthusiasm
But I don't
with
think
voters?
we should be making those kinds of processy arguments. I think we should talk about electability in terms of his character. All of it's kind of this smoke and mirrors about who he really is, and so I just think that is it's very revealing about who he is.
It's obvious that the systems in place today do not favor, a young, queer person of color like Malcolm to be the nominee and the eventual winner for U.S. Senate race.
There's a different bar, and I think Malcolm has to do things better than everyone else.
We all make choices in life, and John made a choice. He made a choice to point a shotgun at the chest of an unarmed black man, and then say afterward that he would do it again. And he skipped the debate today because he doesn't think he has to answer for it. Given everything that's gone on in this country, that is fatal to his campaign.
So I had a professor. I missed her class one day, and she said, Malcolm, 70% of your grade is going to be showing up. Now, he would have failed Kamika's class, the lieutenant governor. And if John can't show up to talk to other Democrats, who the hell really believes that John is going to be able to show up and stand up and fight for our values in Washington? Now, I know our rules today say that when you invoke somebody's name, they get 30 seconds. I'd like to give John his. And don't worry, I'll keep time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Representative.
Thank you, Representative Kenyatta.
Where do you want us to stop, Steve? Just right from the camera? Yeah, you can stop right at this.
I do the polls show that John Fetterman's ahead.
Well, he's run 3 times.
Yeah, and also he's raising a lot of money in this race. So is the Conor Lamb too. Why has it been harder for you to get traction so far?
I think the bigger question is not if I've gained traction. The question is, why is a campaign who has been able to garner this type of support and has somebody who's running who's actually intimately connected to all of the issues, why hasn't that been a campaign that has been focused on as much as these other two?
You looking forward to the debate on Thursday?
Maybe this will be, I guess, did he say he's coming?
He's coming.
He's coming,
Yeah,
all right.
So you'll have the opportunity to talk to him there.
So let me just be crystal clear, because it's very rare we get John at an event. And so I'll say directly to the Lieutenant Governor, for somebody who has cut an image as an incredibly tough guy, you're so afraid of 2 little words. I'm sorry. You did take a 20-gauge shotgun, get in your pickup truck, travel into another town, and brandish that weapon at the chest of an unarmed black jogger. You did that. It was not okay what John did. And John, I hope tonight you would say those 2 simple words. I'm sorry.
That never happened. I never pointed the weapon at the individual. And everyone in Braddock knows. And not only does everyone in Braddock know what happened in 2013, we know what this is about here on the stage.
Mr. Kenyatta, I'm going to give you 15 seconds.
John, we get it. You have a black friend. The question is, did you point a 20-gauge shotgun at the chest of a black man, and you have an opportunity with all of Pennsylvania watching to say, I'm sorry. Are you going to say I'm sorry today, John?
That never happened.
So you're not going to say I'm sorry?
That never happened.
So you still refuse to say I'm sorry to this day?
I'm the only Democrat that successfully confronted
You're the only
gun
Democrat
violence.
who used a shotgun to chase down an unarmed black
Gentlemen,
jogger.
thank you. Lisa?
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Make an intro that you like. I'll do the rest.
Well, he's run for office a bunch of times. Yeah, he's run for office a bunch of times. And I think that, there are a lot of people who got to hear from me tonight who may have never heard of me before. And I do think that, it has been a mistake for folks in the press, all of you, to just cover this race as a race between, two white guys from Pittsburgh. Julian had a piece today I didn't like that only had John and Conor in the picture.
In the headline, not me.
I know. I was. He's like, I don't get to write everything. But the reality is, the race has never been that, and I think that today we got an opportunity for people to hear that they have multiple options, and I hope that people choose me, obviously. Well, thank you, everybody. Get home safe. Oh, what did they say? For Conor?
Eric, it was her.
Really?
They what?
They're. It's clear who they're for.
Yeah, they're not yet.
These individuals actually are pundits, though. These are Democratic.
Todd Egan is for Conor.
Exactly, he's for Conor.
Yeah.
These are already people who've made up their minds before this debate. So obviously they are spinning it against you. They're glossing over you.
Hey, hi, how you doing, lady? Good. All right, everything well?
Yep, ma'am.
Okay, all is well here. It's good.
I decided on Malcolm because he's really progressive and I'm really for progressive politics.
I decided to go with Conor Lamb because I'm familiar with him and know him and have grown to trust him.
I have decided to endorse and back John Fetterman. And he helped me because I was in a darkened state in my life at the time when John Fetterman came here. I think he really cares about the blacks, about the black population.
I want you to have a brain. I want you to have compassion. What are the needs of the people? Are their needs being met, and can you meet them? That's what's important to me. Stature is not important, and I definitely don't get into people's sexual orientation. That's not my business. Unless we're in the bed together, I could care less. That's just my opinion. And I get lost in all of that. It makes no sense to me that I need to know your sexual orientation as a politician. It's not my business unless you're going to have sex while you hitting the gavel or writing a bill into place. Grow up. Grow up. What can the person bring to the office?
I think that John is different enough for a lot of people in Pennsylvania. But he still looks like you and someone that you can see walking down the street. That's someone I want to support. That's someone that they are looking at and saying, I can get a little edgy. Wouldn't we love to have a black man as our senator? Wouldn't we love that? But a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people in Pennsylvania
aren't there
wouldn't.
Yet.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Raise your hand if you support eliminating the Senate filibuster. All four. Okay. Expanding the number of justices on the U.S. Supreme Court.
The Democratic Party does not rig the rules just simply because we do not like the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this whole question is a trap. One of the things I'm trying to convey here is I've spent 4 years knocking on the doors of, answering questions of at town halls, the exact type of people that are going to determine whether we are successful or fail this year. Never had a single one of them in tens of thousands of conversations ask me to add a justice to the Supreme Court.
This idea that we're Democrats, we don't try to change anything, I mean, that does not make a lot of sense. I'm running for U.S. Senate because there's a lot of stuff we have to change, and that's what we should do as Democrats.
In recent months, culture wars over LGBTQ rights have intensified, and laws targeting transgender rights have been introduced in state houses around the country. What is your message to LGBTQ Pennsylvanians frustrated with a politically charged atmosphere that makes any immediate movement on federal legislation, such as the Equality Act, seem unlikely?
So for folks who are at home who can't see the full auditorium, right to my left over there is my husband, Dr. Matt. And when I'm your next United States Senator, for the first time in American history, we're going to have an openly gay man in the U.S. Senate who is going to bring my entire life and family and perspective to a body that is in desperate need of that perspective. And it was heartbreaking to watch the hearings for soon-to-be Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson and hearing senators openly opine about whether or not same-sex marriage is settled law.
Again, I want to thank all four candidates. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
The history of this moment is not lost on me. that I do have my husband at a Senate debate. I mean, that ain't been happening, man.
I mean, this whole campaign, like, you know, like, I just feel like questioning whether, like, me being next to him is an asset or not, or if I should, like, be in the shadow, or, like, I don't know how to act, because there isn't any model. Like, there isn't anybody telling me, oh, yeah, do that, be that way. And, like, if you're a straight person or whatever, like, there are plenty of roles that people can give. You may not like it, but at least they're there, you know, and, like, I don't have that. And so I just thought, like, it was, you know, an honor to feel like an asset in that moment, for him to, like, put a real face and name to that general category of, like, a queer person. Like, we're here. So.
The other candidates don't even disagree. Like, they think that he, you know, is the best debater. They think he's the best speaker in the race, right?
I mean, people, like, break out into tears at his rallies. You're not seeing that with Conor Lamb or John Fetterman.
You know, when people like Mastriano or Trump or DeSantis or whatever, when they run and they take these really ridiculous, you know, positions, we often have a conversation about the fervor of their base. We never talk about that in the context of candidates like me. The people that we inspire and the bases that we engage.
I leave here thinking he's more electable than when I came here.
Electability, you know, in the eyes of many female candidates and candidates of color has become a loaded word. Oftentimes, they'll argue it's just kind of a code word for a white male candidate who's moderate.
I feel like the entire campaign, I've dealt with coverage of the race that never just said, Malcolm did great, like, wow, people should look at that. It was always with a qualifier. Even when they wrote that I won the debate, they wrote it in a way of, well, Malcolm would be a nice surrogate for whoever wins.
Fetterman knows that he's leading, and I think it shows during his performance. He didn't seem like he wanted to be there, walking around all across the stage during the debate, suit on cuff. He doesn't need this debate to win.
You know, I've had folks say to me, like, you know, well, my editor doesn't think you can win, and so, you know, they'll let me write something nice about you after the election's over. And it's just like...
I'll get angry emails from people when I write about him, like, you know, this guy doesn't have a chance. I think part of that is that they see that he is building excitement, and there's, like, someone who has $200,000 in the bank and who's running for Senate should not be doing as well as he is. Now, some of those people work for other campaigns, but anyway. What he's kind of up against is really interesting and is telling us something about how the electability argument can be so challenging to candidates like him.
Like, what I'm doing is much easier than parents who can't figure out childcare or who have multiple jobs, who have health issues that they can't get addressed because they don't have good care. Everything I have to do is easier than that. But it doesn't mean it's not hard, and it doesn't mean it's not frustrating. You know, when I've felt those moments, it's like, okay, wait, like, what's going on? Why am I? You know, why am I feeling like this? Why am I still doing this? And then, you know, and then you talk to somebody that reminds you why.
From day one, when he got to be elected, he said, I'll be back. But you know, they all say that. Oh, I'll be back. But they don't come back either for 2 years or 4 years to say, I'm back. But this young man has been back. Sometimes I think he's walking backwards, he's back so much. He's a man of his word, and to God be the glory for that.
Good afternoon! Good afternoon, everyone!
Good afternoon!
What a great day to come out and knock on doors for our brother Kenyatta!
Yeah. People who want the status quo to remain get real nervous when they see one person step up. Because when one person steps up, it gets the other person who was thinking about stepping up, they say, maybe I'll step up too.
He's about the labor man. He's about the working man.
I played her Malcolm speech in the State House, about LGBTQ rights, and it touched her. It spoke to her.
Well, having a black queer man really makes a difference.
The fact that he's black shouldn't matter to anyone else. I say that's bullshit.
It's not about who lives the closest to you. It's not about who you've known the longest. It's who's gonna fight for you the hardest.
Okay, yeah, I was leaning toward Fetterman. Now I'm more looking at Kenyatta. Chip off the Obama block, I said to my wife, Jennifer here.
I'm knocking on doors in your neighborhood because I want you to vote for me.
You don't want to tell you, yeah, I'll vote for you and don't do it. Then I'll feel bad about it.
This is how we win. This is how we win. This is how we win. You have 100 people, so many of them, born on third base, think they hit a home run, and don't actually know what the hell is going on in real people's lives.
Don't you have competition with Mr. Fetterman?
I do, but that's okay. We have a lot of people around here voting for me.
He's smooth.
Well, I'm smoother.
Fetterman don't have to do what you do.
She likes all three.
I know, but just, you can like all three, but just vote for me.
5 years, no bodies dropping in his neighborhood. Fetterman did that shit.
And I have rejected from the day of this campaign that if you're from a small town, well, of course you're racist. How offensive is that? One thing I know about Jesus is that he will tell you to do some stuff and you don't know how it's going to happen. If you want to dance, you can dance. Democracy and Duncan. I'm gonna be in there fighting. Yeah. Always, always, man.
You got my back.
Thank you. Malcolm, 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 Malcolm. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I'm doing it. Okay. Okay. So you want to do a little bit of trivia? What's your favorite thing about yourself?
About myself? I think my resilience. Like I'm a bounce back. Bounce back person.
Oh. Fluidity. I feel like I'm able to walk into multiple spaces or rooms and still fit.
I'm in love with both of you. I am, and you have to, absolutely have to get the nomination. Congratulations on your wedding,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
In our County to County series this morning, we're heading to Pennsylvania. Primary elections are tomorrow. We've got some bombshell health news. We're learning the Lieutenant Governor, John Fetterman, who's the presumed frontrunner, is recovering from a stroke and is, quote, taking a minute from the campaign trail. How is this news changing the race?
Our understanding, the lieutenant governor is still in the hospital at this hour here. He was off the campaign trail for 2 days, and the question is what ultimately happens tomorrow.
You know, my mom had a stroke and never fully recovered from it, and I'll never just forget how scary that was. You know, all the politics and bullshit aside, you know, I really hope he gets better as quickly as possible.
Morning, Malcolm Kenyatta.
Good to see you. How's the turnout been so far?
It's slow. It's slow. Yeah, it's slow.
Let me go get some signs. We should put a sign there. We should put a sign there. Yep. And a sign there. Button number 3, I hope you consider voting for me. It feels like so much of this has been text and TV, and we've just been, you know, knocking on doors because that's what we've had. I appreciate that.
I'm voting for you. You are the candidate for this.
Thank you.
And this is your seat. And by any means, I'll push that button for you.
I'm ready, man. Wolves, snakes, whatever else they got there. We ready. Every day you'll hear Mitch McConnell pissed off at me, okay?
Very good.
That's good. That's how you know I'm doing well. If he's not pissed, I'm not doing a good enough job.
I've not seen one volunteer so far for John Fetterman. Does Fetterman have a real ground game out in Allegheny County that you can see?
Not in my district. You think you got it locked?
Babe, the press is at the polling site. We need to leave right now.
Defining moment.
Now, when you go in, I want you to vote for me.
I have to think about it.
Well, this is democracy. We're gonna do it. Here we go. Thinking about, of course, my parents today. I know they're looking down from heaven when they imagine that their son is a candidate for U.S. Senate.
Yeah, I just voted, and I was very excited to vote for Malcolm.
Excuse me, are you voting in the Democratic primary? Tough crowd up here, Monka.
Who do I think wins Philly? Conor Lamb, because we're supporting him. I think Conor wins Philly.
Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman will now undergo surgery to receive a pacemaker with a defibrillator.
Like, I feel like it's anybody's game right now.
Hello.
So you're here.
I'm doing wonderful. Good to see you off of Zoom. I've not looked at like any results of any kind, so don't tell me.
Too crazy here, because this is it. So
okay.
just come on up to the front. Let me get a focus on is it too loud or is it too good?
It's not essential in this room right now. We have to be absolutely silent.
Did they? What's the
current numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
54, 55, 30, 10.
30's Conor.
Hey, sorry to bother you. Hey, just want to, if you could, just talk to the representative here for 1 second.
Hey, Bobby. Good. I wanted to, obviously call and say congratulations. I'll talk to John when he's feeling up to it, and whatever I can do to help make sure he's the next senator, I'm gonna do. All right. Thanks, Bob. Congratulations. All right. Bye-bye. Cool.
Just to be clear, who can we see over here?
They called it for John, right?
No.
No, they didn't.
Just so we're clear.
Connor's in second.
You want us to be here.
Yeah, you're good there.
All right, go, because they're about to start.
Come in.
Okay, guys, we're about to start right now.
All right, guys. So,
First of all, first and foremost, I'm just going to say thank you to everybody who poured so much into this campaign and helped a poor black gay kid from North Philly become the first openly gay person of color to even be on a ballot for U.S. Senate. And so, we made incredible history, and we did it with not the resources that my opponents had, and we knew that there was a tough climb that we tough hill we had to climb, but we climbed because we know what's at stake. But we know that in John Fetterman, we're gonna have a nominee that is heads and shoulders above whatever full-time resident of Fantasy Island they have on the other side. And if anybody knows Malcolm Kenyatta, I'm gonna be out there doing everything we can to make sure we preserve democracy and don't allow it to die on our watch. I won't let it happen, and I don't think any of us will, neither will John Fetterman, who is our nominee. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's not bullshit. Obviously, I still feel I was the best nominee. It's tough to feel defeated when I don't feel like everybody knew me, everybody knew John, and then they chose John over me. In fact, most Pennsylvanians have never heard of me. I punched above my weight every day.
So please give a warm welcome to Representative Malcolm Kenyatta.
What I know this requires more than anything else is bravery. And the thing about bravery is contagious.
That's right. Yeah.
And each time one of us stands up, it inspires another person to stand up as well. I don't think this proves that people are so racist or so homophobic that they would never be for me. I think it actually proves the opposite, right? That in the face of subtle and sometimes overt messaging, a lot of people are like, fuck that, I don't buy that, and like, I'm not gonna do that. Each one of us adds pressure to a status quo that will one day fall. It is going to fall, it is going to break because we break it. To every person who comes from a community where you are told that you are limited by who you are, folks who come from neighborhoods like mine, where you feel limited by what your parents and your family has or doesn't, folks who simply by virtue of existing in their true self are gonna face naysayers every time you rise up and say, I think I should be the person to lead. I wanna say this to you. Do not wait your turn. Do not wait your turn. Do not buy into the noise of the cynics. The time for turns is over. We are in a crisis, and we need our best fighters. And our best fighters are gonna always come from the margins. Right. Our best fighters are gonna always come from the people who know what it means to be left out and left behind. Run for office. Run for office. Let's preserve this democracy and let's change this country for the better. God bless you all.
Louise. It's like, woo, driving off the cliff.
Well, what's on the other side? Hopefully not the ground. But they never tell, you know,
they never say, which I love. I love that about it. It's like, just trust it. It'll be better than whatever the hell was behind there that you drove away from. Ugh.
We don't run away, we stand rooted in faith. That's all we know. Ain't no trouble that lasts always. We laugh in danger's face. Tell me what's fear to a child of the Most High. I was taught to rise above the storm.
North Philly, what's up? You being here today for John Fetterman matters. You voting for John Fetterman matters. And so it is my great honor, my great privilege to introduce our next United States Senator from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman. There was no one type of candidate who could have won this race. Electability is a crutch, it's a myth. we saw a historic rainbow wave of LGBTQ folks being elected to governor, going to Congress.
I stand before you tonight proud to be the first woman and the first gay person ever elected governor of Massachusetts.
It all comes as anti-LGBTQ legislation remains on the rise in states.
We will make sure that parents can send their kids to school to get an education, not an indoctrination.
We need to get to a place where we view our distinctions as our superpowers and not as distractions.
Don't let them take away your pride. Don't you let them change who you are on the inside.